Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the absolutely incredible journey of one of cricket's modern legends, Rohit Sharma.
Okay, take a look at this number, 264. Just let that sink in for a second. It's the highest score ever made by a single player in an international one-day match. It's a record that feels, well, almost unbreakable, like the Mount Everest of batting.
But the story behind this number, that's where it gets really interesting. It's a story of struggle, of reinvention, and just remarkable resilience. It's about a player who had all the talent in the world, but for years just couldn't quite piece it all together. So, how on earth did he go from inconsistent to invincible? Let's find out.
You know, Rohit Sharma's journey began a long way from the bright lights of international cricket. He came from a pretty modest family in Nagpur, and with his dad working as a caretaker, money was always tight.
In fact, for him to even chase his cricket dream, he had to live away from his parents. He'd only visit them on weekends in their tiny one-room house. I mean, these were some serious challenges early on, and his family made huge sacrifices to support his passion.
And this is where the story gets really crucial. You see, key people stepped in at just the right moments. His uncle scraped together the money for his first camp, and then his coach, Dinesh Lad, didn't just spot his potential, he went above and beyond to get him a scholarship so he could go to a better school his family couldn't afford. And it was there, as a schoolboy, that he scored his first ever century as an opener, a sign of things to come for sure.
So he just bursts onto the international scene in 2007. This prodigious talent, right? Even wins a T20 World Cup in his very first year. Everybody could see the promise. But, and it's a big but, his early years were a frustrating roller coaster.
For 5 long years, his career was basically defined by this frustrating pattern. He'd play a breathtaking innings that would leave everyone speechless, and then it'd be followed by a string of low scores. The middle-order role he was playing just didn't seem to fit. It demanded he attack right away, which kind of clashed with his natural style of building an innings. The talent was never in doubt, but the results were all over the place, meaning he was constantly in and out of the team.
And then came the absolute lowest point in 2011. While India was at home, celebrating winning the World Cup, Rohit was watching from the sidelines. He'd been dropped from the squad. He later called that huge setback the single biggest catalyst for his complete transformation. But you know, sometimes a setback is just the fuel you need. In 2013, a single tactical change by his captain, MS Dhoni, didn't just save Rohit's career, it unleashed a legend.
Rohit was moved from the middle order all the way to the top to face the new ball as an opener. The logic was actually pretty simple. Give your most talented player the most possible time to bat. And given that responsibility, well, Rohit didn't just succeed. He started to dominate in a way nobody had ever seen before.
First up, later that year, he just silenced all the doubters with a massive double hundred against a really powerful Australian team. It was a huge statement. And then, just a year later, he played what might be the single greatest innings in one-day history. He scored that unbelievable 264 against Sri Lanka. He faced 173 balls, hitting 33 fours and 9 sixes. It was just pure, beautiful destruction. And as if that wasn't enough, he went and did it a third time a few years later. No other player in the history of cricket has more than one. This record alone sets him completely apart from everyone else.
And this is exactly how he earned that famous nickname, the Hitman. See, it's not just about brute force. It's about his elegant, almost lazy-looking style that suddenly explodes into brutal, match-winning power.
So this newfound consistency as an opener, it turned him into an absolute juggernaut, especially when the stakes were the highest, at the Cricket World Cup.
In 2015, he was good. He scored a really important 100. But in 2019, whoa, he was on another planet entirely. His performance in England wasn't just historic. It's what took him from being a good player to an all-time great. He scored an unprecedented 5 centuries in that one tournament. 5! Against South Africa, Pakistan, England, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. It's the most by any player ever in a single World Cup. Just incredible.
But his evolution didn't stop with the bat. Beyond all the individual records, he also grew into one of the most successful and respected captains in modern cricket.
He first proved his tactical genius in the IPL, leading the Mumbai Indians to a record 5 titles. Then, he brought that same successful formula to the national team, building his reputation for being proactive, super sharp with his tactics, and just incredibly calm under pressure.
And just look at this run of results. Under his leadership, India basically became a finals machine. They reached 4 straight major ICC finals across all 3 formats, and crucially, they won the T20 World Cup and the Champions Trophy.
So when we step back and look at his entire career, what's the real lasting impact of Rohit Sharma? Well, it goes way beyond the numbers.
His legacy is this powerful combination of staggering records, empathetic leadership, and really meaningful work off the field. He's been a dedicated ambassador for rhino conservation in India, using his massive platform to fight for a cause he really cares about.
Ultimately, his career gives us this clear blueprint for success. It proves that talent alone is never enough. True greatness comes from having the humility to reassess everything, the courage to totally reinvent yourself when you fail, and the vision to build a legacy that really lasts.
And that leaves us with one final thought. We started with the number 264, but maybe his greatest legacy isn't any single record. Perhaps it's the powerful, universal lesson in resilience that his incredible journey represents for all of us.